You're living your life, paying your rent on time every month, when suddenly your landlord slaps you with an illegal rent hike so massive it's clearly designed to shove you out the door. You're furious, right? Helpless? Well, what if I told you I didn't just fight back? I flipped the script entirely. I bought the whole damn building and handed that greedy landlord an eviction notice with his name on it. Yeah, you heard that right. This is the story of how a housing nightmare turned into the sweetest revenge. Buckle up, because if you've ever dealt with a shady landlord, this one's going to hit different. Let me take you back to where it all started. It was a few years ago, and I was just a regular guy trying to make it in the city. I'd found this cozy apartment in a small, older building, nothing fancy, but it had character. High ceilings, big windows that let in tons of natural light, and a location that was perfect for my commute. The building had about 8 units, and I was on the second floor. Rent was affordable, around $1,200 a month, which was a steal for the area. I signed a 1-year lease, moved in my stuff, and thought, this is home for a while. Little did I know, the landlord, let's call him Mr. Harlan, was about to turn my life upside down. Mr. Harlan was this middle-aged guy, always in a cheap suit, with a smirk that screamed, I own you. He lived in the top floor unit, the biggest one, like he was king of his little empire. At first, things were fine. He'd nod hello in the hallway, fix minor issues if I bugged him enough. But I started noticing red flags. Other tenants whispered about how he'd nickel and dime them for repairs, or how he'd threaten eviction over tiny things like leaving a bike in the common area. I shrugged it off until it happened to me. About 6 months into my lease, I get this letter slipped under my door. No warning, no conversation. It says my rent's jumping to $2,000 starting next month. That's a 67% increase. I stared at it, heart pounding. This can't be legal, I thought. I mean, I knew about rent control laws in my city. They cap increases at around 3 to 5% per year, unless there's major renovations or something. And there hadn't been any work done on the building. No new paint, no fixed elevators, nothing. I confronted Mr. Harlan the next day in the lobby. Hey, Mr. Harlan, what's with this rent hike? It's way over the limit. He just crossed his arms, that smirk creeping in. Market rates. Kid, costs are up. If you don't like it, find somewhere else. But the law says... The law? This is my building. Pay up or pack up. I felt my blood boil. This wasn't about costs. It was personal. Later I found out from another tenant that Mr. Harlan wanted my unit for his nephew who was moving to town. He figured raising the rent illegally would force me out without the hassle of a proper eviction process. Sneaky, right? But I wasn't going down without a fight. Now, think about this. What would you do in my shoes? Roll over and move, or dig in your heels? I chose to dig in. That night, I hit the internet hard, researching tenant rights. Turns out, in my state, landlords have to give 60 days notice for any increase over 10%, and even then, it has to be justified. This was blatant violation. I printed out the statutes, joined online forums for renters, and even called a free legal aid hotline. They confirmed it, illegal as hell, but proving it and fighting back, that's where the real drama kicked in. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. I sent Mr. Harlan a certified letter demanding he retract the increase, citing the law's chapter and verse. No response. So I filed a complaint with the local housing authority. They scheduled a hearing, but in the meantime, he started playing dirty. My mailbox mysteriously got jammed. The building's hot water went out for days, and he claimed it was maintenance. Coincidence? Yeah, right. I documented everything, photos, emails, even recorded our hallway run-ins on my phone where legal. Imagine coming home after a long day, exhausted, and finding a pay or quit notice taped to your door. Even though I was still paying the original rent amount into an escrow account like the legal aid folks advised. It was stressful, man. Sleepless nights, wondering if I'd end up homeless. But here's where I teased out a little mystery for myself. Why was he so desperate to get me out? I started digging deeper into the building's records, public stuff like property taxes and liens. Turns out, Mr. Harlan was in deep financial trouble. The building had a hefty mortgage and he was behind on property taxes. He'd been squeezing tenants to cover his ass, but it wasn't enough. That gave me an idea, but I'll get to that later. First, the hearing. The housing authority hearing was like a courtroom drama. Me, in my best shirt, armed with papers, Mr. Harlan, looking smug, with his cheap lawyer, Buddy. I presented my case. The illegal hike, the retaliation, the laws broken. His side claimed necessary adjustments for rising costs, but they had zero proof, no invoices, no nothing. The judge, not buying it, ruled in my favor. Mr. Harlan had to roll back the rent, pay my legal fees, about $1,500, and a fine of $2,000 to the city. Plus, he was on probation any more violations, and he'd lose his landlord license. You'd think that'd be the end, right? Victory for the little guy? Nope. Mr. Harlan didn't take the loss well. He appealed, dragging it out for months. In the process, he harassed other tenants too, hoping to isolate me. One neighbor moved out after he forgot to fix her leaking roof. Another got hit with bogus cleaning fees. The building was turning into a ghost town. But I held on, renewing my lease at the original rate while the appeal crawled through the system. During this time, I got smart about money. I was working as a software engineer, decent pay, but nothing crazy. But that hearing wind lit a fire. I started side hustling, freelancing code, investing in stocks, even flipping a few items on eBay. Saved every penny. Why? Because from my research, I saw the building's value. It was in an up-and-coming neighborhood, worth about $1.2 million. But Mr. Harlan's debts were piling up. Foreclosure notices started appearing in public records. He was drowning. And I thought, what if I could buy this place? Crazy, right? But hang on, I'm building to the big reveal. Let's pause for a second. Have you ever felt that rush when a plan starts coming together? Like you're the underdog, but suddenly the stars align? That's what happened next. The appeal failed. Mr. Harlan lost again, owing me back rent credits and more fines. Now he was really hurting. Whispers from remaining tenants. He was talking to realtors, looking to sell. The building hit the market quietly, listed at $1.1 million to move fast. He needed cash to pay off debts, including what he owed me from the lawsuit, about $5,000 total. I crunched numbers. With my savings, the settlement money, and a loan from a bank, I had good credit. I could swing a down payment, but I didn't want him knowing it was me. Oh no, that would ruin the surprise. So, I set up a small LLC, something anonymous, like City Holdings LLC. Hired a real estate attorney to handle the bid. We lowballed at first, $900K, knowing he was desperate. He countered, but after weeks of negotiation, we closed at $950K. I mortgaged the rest, planning to rent out units and flip the value. Picture this scene. Closing day at the title office. Mr. Harlan's there, looking defeated, signing papers. My attorney represents me, so I'm not in the room yet. He thinks he's selling to some faceless investor group. As the ink dries, he asks casually, "So, what's the new owner planning? Keeping tenants?" My attorney smiles. "Oh, they'll manage." Mr. Harlan even mentions he might want to stay in his unit rented from the new owner since he's got nowhere quick to go. Perfect setup. Now, the twist you've been waiting for. A week after closing, I show up at the building, my building now, with paperwork in hand. I knock on his door, the top floor unit. He opens it, sees me, and his face goes white. "What the hell are you doing here?" I hand him the envelope. "Mr. Harlan, this is your 30-day notice to vacate. As the new owner, I'm terminating your occupancy. You've got violations on record, harassment, illegal practices. Time to go." He stammers, You bought it? That's impossible." I just smile. Turns out, fighting back pays off. You tried to force me out, now it's your turn. See you in 30 days. The look on his face, priceless. Shock, anger, disbelief all rolled into one. He tried fighting it, called his lawyer, but since he didn't have a lease, as former owner, he never needed one. He was basically squatting. The law was on my side this time. He moved out, grumbling the whole way, truck loaded with his stuff. But wait, there's more to this saga. Owning the building wasn't just revenge, it was a smart move. I renovated it slowly, fixed the issues he'd ignored, new plumbing, fresh paint, even added security cameras. Renters came flooding in at fair rates. I turned a profit within a year, paid down the mortgage faster. That illegal rent hike, it sparked my real estate journey. Now I own 2 more properties, helping tenants avoid the crap I went through. Let's break it down with some key lessons here, like a countdown of what I learned. Number 5, know your rights. Tenant laws exist for a reason, use them. Number 4, document everything. Photos, emails, records, they're your ammo. Number 3, think long term. That stress, it built my resilience and my bank account. Number 2, revenge is sweet, but smart revenge builds wealth. And number 1, never underestimate the underdog. I went from renter on the brink to owner calling the shots. Crazy how life flips, huh? If Mr. Harlan had just played fair, none of this happens. But greed got him. Last I heard, he's renting a tiny studio across town, probably dealing with his own shady landlord now. Karma's a beast. So, what's the takeaway? If you're in a bad housing spot, don't give up. Fight smart, save up, and who knows, you might end up owning the place. Have you got a landlord horror story? Drop it in the comments, I read them all. If this tale fired you up, smash that like button, subscribe for more real life revenge and drama, and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the best way to win is to buy the battlefield. See you next time.